Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting edition of Saturday Morning Football here on AudioSportsOnline.com. I am your host, Marcus Fredwell, joining you live from high atop the press box here at Avon High School for today's JV contest between the Ben Davis Giants and your Avon Orioles. We've got the kick return team on the field for the Orioles. The Giants kickoff team is on the field. We're just about ready to get things going here. We'll have a recap of last night's varsity game, although we'll make it brief for you Oriole fans, as we know that wasn't a great one for us here at Avon. Deep to receive for the Orioles. It won't matter because it's going to be kicked short to an up back, and he's going to take it to the left side. On the far side of the field, he cuts back at the 40, across the 45. He breaks a tackle across the 50 now, and he'll be brought down across the Giant 49-yard line. They're going to spot it over there at about the 49, 48 and a half, and that's where the Orioles will take over 1st and 10 for their first drive of the morning. Back, going to be under center today. Well, in the shotgun today is going to be number 8, Mason Miller. He'll be flanked in the backfield by Jarrett Stephen. That was Joseph Sargent on the kickoff return. Near side of the field comes Cohen Morrell. 2 receivers at the top of the field. Riley Browder in motion. Fake the handoff to Browder. Handoff goes to number 18, Jarrett Stephen. And he is brought down, but not before he is tackled in the backfield, actually, for a loss of about 2. And joining us this morning will be Lex Zorn, and he will get on just here in a moment. We'll go ahead and do a check to make sure that we can get his mic levels synced up as well before we get too far here. So it's going to be second down, call it 11. And Steven will go under center. Excuse me, that's Miller will go under center. Take a snap. Look, drop back to pass. It's tipped, and it might be picked off. Ooh, it's called incomplete. But I'm not sure that official had as good of an angle as I did, because it looked like he might have got his fingers under that one. And we'll get Leck plugged in here in just a moment so that he can join us as well. Give us just a second, folks, to level up. We'll keep the video going right there in the center of the field so that you can stay with the play while we're getting the check in.
Yeah, testing. Am I coming through?
Loud and clear for us, Lex. So how you doing today?
Oh, good. Definitely excited about this game today. We've got to pass downfield, and it's just a little bit overthrown there.
Yeah, and that's going to be Mason Miller looking for his tight end over the middle there. That was, I believe that's number 48 on the play there, Leck.
That's Sean Lewis. He is a 6'3", 190-pound junior tight end for the Orioles. Well, I'll tell you, it's a jungle out there in the parking lot. I was expecting there just to be like 20 cars there, and the place is full because they have this marching band competition there. We have dozens of school buses and hundreds of cars. So
yeah, absolutely, Leck. We got marching band, we got girls soccer. I believe there's boys JV soccer going down on the far end of the complex. So just barely getting the punt away is Miller, and he gets it back. It's received at about the 11, and he is wrapped up. He fumbles, and the play is not blown dead. They're going to let it go, and the Orioles have possession inside the Giant 10-yard line.
Well, big break for Avon in the early going. Not even just a minute 14 into the game, and they're already in the red zone. So now we'll see if they can push it in. You know, Jarrett Stephen, I'm really excited about seeing how he's developed this year because my broadcast partner, Rob Kindle, and I commentated several, probably about 4 Avon JV game or freshman games last year, and Jarrett Stephen looks like he would be playing varsity on about 98% of the teams in the state. He just happened to be playing at a deep school like Avon, so, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing how he's doing.
Well, and look, that's something you'll get with the IHSAA. You'll in this conference at a big school like Avon, you'll have a lot of guys that are highly talented, but don't get much action until their junior or senior year due to the depth of a squad.
That's right, yeah. like last night I commentated. I'm doing Cascade's varsity games this year.
Okay.
Last night they played Monrovia, who's an annual power in the lower conferences. They won the Class 2A state championship a couple of years ago, moving up to Class 3A this year. And they had a freshman by the name of Corbin Padgett, who was just phenomenal. But he'd probably be playing, playing JV, in the MIC or the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. And now they give it. Was that Steven again?
Yeah, it looks like it is. Steven,
yeah.
He gets forward. He's just shy, I guess.
He looks like he's about 6 inches short of the goal. But yeah, Jarrett Steven, I remember. That's not Stevens. It's Steven, singular. Steven with a PH. And
he's one of a kind.
Yes, he is. He is. He's going to be a major college prospect in a couple of years. I don't know if I don't think most college coaches go to JV games, but there ought to be some here today.
So the handoff's going to go up the middle, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Wow.
Boy, I'll tell you, that was a perfectly telegraphed play there by the defense. The line, they just swarmed him as soon as, Of course, they were taking a chance that he was going to get the ball, which was a good bet. So, yeah, the best thing for Avon would have been to for the quarterback to fake the handoff to Steven and then roll left, and he probably would have had an open space for the touchdown.
Well, and like a lot of teams that run an offense like Avon does will have a read option in there as well, but what you get mostly from Avon is going to be that handoff. Usually their quarterback's not as mobile. He's more of a pocket passing quarterback for Avon.
Now we got a timeout here. So it's early in the game to take a timeout, but at the same time, when you have this much of a golden opportunity, you don't want to let it slip away. You want to get that. You want to get that 7 points.
Absolutely, especially against a team like Ben Davis, who can be so explosive.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one reason why I was so excited to do this game, even though it's JV. I've never commentated Ben Davis in football before, and I know that probably this Ben Davis JV team is going to be better than probably 80-90% of the varsity teams in the state.
Right.
Ben Davis is a school of 6,000 students, and Cascade, for who I'm commentating this year, to put it in perspective, they have about 480 students. In
total.
Yeah, exactly.
And Ben Davis probably has that many come out for the football team.
Yes, exactly. And so Cascade, they have to, by necessity, they have a heck of a lot of guys playing both sides of the ball and special teams.
Right.
So
absolutely.
So it's exciting to see Ben Davis even at JV.
Handoff goes to Steven again.
He's got it.
He's going to walk in easily.
So the timeout pays off for the Orioles. And of course, did you commentate the varsity game between these two teams last night?
I did, and I was just going to mention I know you saw a powerful offensive performance by Monrovia, but
yes,
man, that Avon, that Ben Davis team is quite explosive. They have several weapons. Just everywhere you look across the field is another guy that can score on you.
That's true. Yeah.
So the Orioles will come out here in the spread formation, send Browder in motion, and this time the quarterback keeps it. Well, Leck, if you didn't call that one, I don't know who did. That is a great keeper there. And Avon might be looking to hire a new offensive coordinator after that one when Lex Zorn makes the call from the press box 2 plays before it happens.
And I did it once for Cascade last night too, so I'm on a roll here.
Yeah, I think it might just be running in the broadcast booth for us because on Ben Davis's first touchdown last night, they ran the swinging gate formation, and you could see it as it was happening. You could see that Avon sent all their defense out to the outside the hash, and Ben Davis snapped it to their quarterback, who just walked into the end zone for a 2-point conversion.
And of course, the first time I started getting any sense that maybe I was onto something, it was during the Seattle New England Super Bowl when Russell Wilson near the goal line threw the ball up the middle, and I was thinking, is it just me, or was that an idiotic call? And then Chris Collinsworth said right after it was an idiotic call. So it's like, okay, I'm starting to catch on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, again, we're glad to have Lex Zorn in the booth with us. I'm Marcus Fredwell with you. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, Red Cobra Wrestling, and Avon Dental Center. Now, you're joining us via podcast right now, as this is not a live broadcast to you. So anything we mess up, we have the luxury of editing out of. But I don't know that Rob is a fan of editing, so he might just enjoy the candidness of our broadcast. It looks like it's Mr. Do Everything Mason Miller on to kick it away again. And here's a man with a lane, and they might have a way to get it outside, and he does. He's at the 50, cuts back to the 45, breaks a tackle, and it'll be brought down just across the Avon 45-yard line. So that's consecutive possessions that are started across the opposing 50-yard line, and left field position, the name of the game early on.
Indeed it is. Avon took advantage. Now let's see if Ben Davis does the same. But, Ben Davis, with 6,000 students to choose from, they're a terror in every sport. I've commentated them before in baseball, commentated them in basketball. In fact, when I commentated them in basketball, it was right here with Rob Kindle last school year. The eventual state champion Giants had a solid win over the Orioles. Avon gave them a better fight that day than I thought, but, nevertheless, the Giants hung on to win. That was on WYRZ back in January or February.
So the Giant wide receiver is going to be trips to the near side, one single to the top of the field, a deep pass and a beautiful ball to his receiver, but can't quite get it to him, and the receiver on the play was number 85. I believe that's the kick returner as well. There's going to be multiple numbers.
Dominic Day. He's a junior.
Dominic Day, okay, yeah. And we're going to have now Ben Davis, as we mentioned to those of you that were listening last night, we mentioned that Ben Davis has several numbers that are duplicates because their varsity team has so many people that come out for it. I believe that there's 135 kids on the Ben Davis roster, and you just can't – in high school you can't go past number 99. So it makes it difficult to get all that on. But here's another quick pass and another just outside the reach of the receiver.
Yeah, it was intended for number 8 Cameron Mall, but it was just through his hands. Well thrown ball though. He might have lost it in the sun, and that's one factor that you deal with when you have these Saturday morning games sometimes.
Yeah, and Leck, as you mentioned, we're kind of losing a few things in the sun, and I actually. Forgotten. I'll actually ask you to help me with the camera today.
Yes, I'll be glad to, yeah.
Anybody that watched last night's game knows that I struggle with keeping the camera on the football. Worked by myself on the Ben Davis game last night and wasn't able to keep the camera on a consistent tilt. But here's the snap again. A pass up in the field on the slant, and he's got a man for the first down inside the 30 to the 26-yard line, 24-yard line. And that's where he'll be brought down after a first down.
And that's something I'm going to have to deal with this year because I've got my own camera equipment now, so I'm going to be using for some broadcasts. So
well, and I tell you, look, it's not easy.
No,
it's not easy. And there's a handoff up the middle, and he's stuffed by a defensive front of the Orioles, and he'll be taken down with just about no gain.
Yeah, it's especially because I keep my own stats too, so
Now I did that the first week successfully, but I also had Mike Kendall on the broadcast with me, running the camera for me, so that made things a lot easier for me. Here's the snap to the quarterback again. It's going to be a flag before he can get anywhere.
Speaking of which, here, have one of these.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you just make copies of it, and it's a godsend. I discovered it 4 years ago, and it helps greatly in keeping stats.
That'll work nicely. That'll do. We appreciate that from Lex Zorn getting us hooked up with the nice football stat sheet. It's clean, it's crisp, and it looks good.
Yeah, and just make copies of it, and it'll serve you for as long as you commentate.
That'll work. So here comes the man again. It's the quarterback takes the snap. He's going to go on the sweep around the left edge, and he is brought down. Looks like short of the first down here.
Trent Gibson is the starting quarterback for the Giants. Now, who's starting for their varsity right now?
Reese Taylor's a senior at Ben Davis, and he's the varsity starting quarterback. And, man, is he impressive. But the sophomore JV quarterback is going to have a chance to be pretty solid next year, it looks like, as well.
Oh, that's good. And we got movement on the line, play whistle dead.
Yeah, we're going to have a false start on the left tackle there.
But, one thing that's impressive, and it's got to be intimidating for the opponents if they see it, when you walk into the lobby of Ben Davis, as you might have seen, Marcus, they have all these framed autographed jerseys of professional players who went to Ben Davis.
Absolutely.
And it's quite a long list. When I'm about to do a school, I often look at Wikipedia to see if they have anybody who's ever made the NFL. And, if they're lucky, maybe they've had one guy who's made it. Ben Davis has a whole slew of guys who've made the NFL, CFL, WNBA, NBA, you name it.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, Ben Davis has a storied history of very, very gifted athletes. Here's the quarterback again, rolling out to the right, looking, has a man, and the ball is tipped up and finally knocked away. It seems like that ball floated around forever, waiting to hit the ground, and finally it's knocked away from the receiver by the Avon defensive back.
Marcus, you probably know this, but the leading scorer in NFL history, the recent Hall of Fame inductee Morton Anderson, played high school ball at Ben Davis.
Played high school football at Ben Davis High School back before it was cool to play at Ben Davis High School.
Yeah.
Back before the days of Coach Dick Dullahan.
That was he was a senior in 1977 when he played for the Giants, and foreign exchange student from Denmark who had never played American football before.
I have a feeling he played European rules football, however.
Yeah, it's passed through his hands. The intended receiver there was, I believe, that was...
it was number one. It'll be the lower number one.
Yeah, Spencer Parker. Spencer Parker was the intended receiver.
Yeah, the number one on top was all over the field on defense last night.
But, yeah, Morton Anderson, of course, had played soccer as a youth, as almost every kid in Europe does. But the thing is, when he was an exchange student at Ben Davis, he heard that there was this game called American football that included some kicking, so he asked if he could be the kicker. They gave him the ball. He set it down on its side, and then they set it upright, and he hit, I think, an extra point, and they kept on backing it up. And finally, when they saw he could hit from 40 yards, they decided they wanted him on the team.
Absolutely. And a good decision there made by the Ben Davis coaching staff, as that turned into a Hall of Fame, storied Hall of Fame career. And here's a pass from Miller out to the far side, and that's going to get forward for a gain of 10 or 11. It's going to be a first down for the Orioles.
And, Anderson was so skinny at first that what they did was they had him kick off and then immediately run over to the sideline because they were afraid he would get seriously injured if he took a hit from anybody.
Oh, well, and I don't blame him because as a guy that's never played football before,
yeah.
And it really, if you ever watch Morton Anderson try to tackle somebody on a kickoff return or something, you can see that he doesn't have very much defensive ability.
Well, when you're not raised on the game, it's tough.
Absolutely.
But it's interesting, though, that excluding George Blanda, who is also a quarterback, the only two kickers in the Hall of Fame are both Scandinavians who never played the game until their late teens or early 20s. It was Morton Anderson and then Jan Stenerud from Norway, who had a great career mainly with the Chiefs.
Well, and those two won't be the only kickers in there for long, as all of us Indianapolis fans know Adam Vinatieri will be in there one day for sure.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Here's Miller dropping back to pass, looking for the hitch again, but his receiver actually ended up running an in route, it looks like.
Adam, assuming he keeps playing, which I think he will, at his current pace, he will break Morton Anderson's all-time scoring record next season.
Absolutely. And look, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Adam Vinatieri will kick until his leg actually falls off. What are your thoughts?
I think he will, yeah. And I think it's so cool that now he's played with the Colts longer than he played with the Patriots.
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking at that the other day with my roommate, and we noticed that. So the shotgun formation again, two receivers to the near side with the tight end. Botch snap, but it's picked up by the running back.
Steven.
He's going to take it. That's Steven once again. And a nice little pickup there. Miller dropped the football in the backfield, but Steven picked it up, and he ran away with it a little bit. So we mentioned that Steven is a strong varsity candidate over the next couple years.
Yes.
They also have a very strong 8th grade wide receiver / running back right now. He's a freshman. Do the Orioles. It's Joe Hall. His brother actually runs on the track team, a state runner-up track team, might I add. And so look for us to be calling Joe Hall's name on Saturday morning next year, as he's a freshman this season. And I would not be surprised to see him have an impressive year.
Yeah, it's always great to, and I wish more fans got out to the JV games, not only to support the kids, but also to get a look at the future of their programs. And it's, I never pass up a chance to do the freshman and JV games. They're a lot of fun, and it's great to watch these kids grow up, especially because, once they get onto the varsity team, you usually only get to follow them for a year or two, so it's great to see their development.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, Leck. Here's a handoff to Steven again, speaking of development, and he is ripped down across the line of scrimmage, but he might have gained a yard.
Yeah.
Second down and about 5.
He got slight positive yardage, but, on that last play where there was the botched snaps, Steven picked it up. They weren't ready for him that time, so he was able to break through for about 17 yards.
The element of surprise is underrated in a lot of sports, but football, I believe, is the most.
And more so in high school football because, you have a much – I'll hold that thought till after this play.
Here's Miller looking to pass in the slot to his tight end, and this one is – right through the hands of the tight end and just about intercepted, but he kept it hit the ground.
Yeah, it was nearly intercepted on the tip there by, I believe that was Norman Cottle, who is a sophomore. Is the name Norman making a comeback?
I hope so. I hope so. So we see in there at the middle linebacker position, number 5 is a big kid, and he's probably likely to see some varsity time over the next year or so. But here's Miller with trips to the top of the field, a lone receiver to the bottom of the field. He's looking for that man into the end zone, and it can't quite be caught. It's tipped away by the defensive back on the play, number 41, on the deflection for the Giants.
That was Brave throwing into double coverage, but, fell to the ground, harmless, incomplete, 4th and 5 now. So we'll see. Will they? It looks like they're going to go for it. It would be about a 46-yard field goal from here.
Right, and if you got a JV kicker that can kick a 46-yard field goal, he probably is on the varsity team.
Yes. Yeah.
So Miller will have 2 receivers to either side. Browder in motion, takes the snap, looking for the screen, set up to Steven, and he's going to have a first down and more. He's brought down inside the 15, but Leck, this one's coming back.
Well, nice try anyway. Well, I'll tell you, this has been a slow-moving JV game. It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
We're still, because usually by this time, we're up to the end of the first quarter by now.
Well, and in most JV games, like, you're not going to have a couple of quarterbacks that can sling it like these two.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, both quarterbacks have so far in the game shown excellent arm strength and the ability to throw a nice ball with a good spiral on it.
Yes.
And that'll bring up 4th down. I wouldn't be surprised to see Avon punt it away here. I have a feeling that Mason Miller's their punter also.
Yeah, and you see that quite a bit in high school ball, punters / quarterbacks. Looks like they are going to go for it. I thought, it might not be a bad idea to try to, punt it, pin them inside the 10 or even the 5, but
yeah.
4th and 10, let's see.
Double tights for Miller. He takes the snap. Steven stays in to block. Miller flush from the pocket. A beautiful block by a slot receiver coming back, but Miller couldn't find anybody as he runs out of bounds for a loss of about 3, and that'll give it possession back to the Giants on a turnover on downs.
But, the thing is, I use a parallel here. In addition to being a sports commentator, I'm also a film actor, and when I started acting 8 years ago, one thing I learned very quickly is that when you act in films, when you're involved in the making of films, it dramatically changes the way you watch films. And similarly, when I started commentating sports 5 years ago, even though I was a longtime sports fan, it dramatically changed the way I watch sports. I break it down and analyze it far more now and hold that thought because I got more to say on it. But now Ben Davis back in motion here.
Trips to the top of the field, one to the near side, and it's a handoff up the middle, and his running back just fights for 7 yards.
But what I've come to realize in my 6 years of high school football commentary is that high school football, and hold that thought again. I didn't realize they were going to go into the no huddle.
Yeah, Ben Davis runs a quick offense, trips to the top of the field, lone receiver to the near side, bubble screen, and the receiver can't quite keep his feet. It's going to go down for a loss of about 3 on the play.
He might have had something that he kept his balance there. But anyway,
yeah,
though.
like you were saying.
Yeah, I think that, what I've discovered is that high school football is far more interesting than the NFL. Now, of course, the NFL is fun to watch because of the sheer talent, but it's so homogenized. Teams basically run the same schemes. Where in high school ball, you just see so many unpredictable things that you would never see at the higher levels, especially in the NFL. But anyway, back to action here.
Yeah, absolutely. Trips to the bottom of the field. It's going to be another quarterback sweep, and the quarterback reaches the ball across near the first down marker.
That was good awareness there.
Just shy. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Leck.
But anyway, yeah, it's for example, in high school ball, you see random 2-point conversions, random onside kicks. You see, like last year, I commentated Crawfordsville. They ran, and I'll save this till the next dead ball because it's such a great story. But so 2 receivers to each side now, 1 running back. Quarterback in shotgun takes a snap. Hands off. He's up the middle. He's got a hole. He's inside the 40, now almost up to the 35, so that'll be a pickup of about 20 yards there.
Yeah, a nice run there by the tailback. That's 33 on the carry.
Yeah, that's Andre Brown. He is a sophomore.
And double twins once again from the Giants. 2 receivers to either side. Quarterback calls his cadence. Takes a snap. Another pass, and it's thrown upfield. And that Avon defensive back there on the play was expecting to come up for a tackle, which is the right decision by him.
Yeah, and it looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication there with the wide receiver, Tyrese Nibbs, who was the intended receiver. He looked like he wasn't sure when to cut to the middle, and the timing was just off.
So back out come the Giants. Trips to the near side. 1 receiver alone at the top of the field. Quarterback gets the snap. Drops back. Looking to throw it deep. Has a man. And it is, what a beautiful play by the Avon safety.
Yeah.
Coming back to make the play. That was number 6 on the deflection. Let me grab my program here.
That was a potential touchdown there that saved.
Number 6 on the deflection, Tyler Anderson. Coming out from his safety position, and as you said, Leck, a touchdown-saving deflection.
Yeah, absolutely. But, last year I was commentating Tri-West up at Crawfordsville, and Crawfordsville did something I have never seen in 39 years of watching football at any level. They ran a 2-quarterback offense, and by that I mean they actually lined up 2 quarterbacks on the same play, both in shotgun, so you didn't know who was going to get the snap.
Trips near side, handoff goes up the middle, and he's stuffed near the line of scrimmage by number 45 on the play, and that is Connor Barnes coming up from his linebacker position, the 5'9 junior.
So, yeah, that was just fascinating, a 2-quarterback offense. I didn't even know it was legal, but apparently it is.
Well, yeah, as long in the rules of football, as long as your hands don't go under center, anybody can take the snap. Once your hands go underneath the center's rear end is when you are required to take the snap. So here's the quarterback calling out a hard count. On 4th down, flushed out of the pocket, looking to throw, has a man wide open.
Got it.
And that's going to be a Giant touchdown.
Now the question is, will they go for the 2 to tie it?
Last night, Leck, we saw the Giants go for 2 all but 2 times, and at that point in the game, they had a significant lead, so I would expect 100% a 2-point conversion here. And as per usual, I'm wrong.
Well, they could fake it. I saw Monrovia did a fake conversion last night, ended up getting the 2 successfully.
Well, and Avon has a fake in the cards as well, where they will snap it to the up back. So we'll see what they do. The sophomore kicker, Kyle Fox, is on to kick it up and in, and that will bring it to a 1-point game. The Giants trail by a score of 8-7. Avon leads.
So, I remember Coach Russell Sumner. He was the head coach of Danville from 2011 to 2015. He was the guy who went for a lot of 2-point conversions, and he said his philosophy was that he wanted to try to force the other team to make the extra play. And at least in the 2012 season when I commentated Danville here for Audio Sports Online, it worked for Danville more often than not. So,
and Leck, as you said, a lot of teams will do that based on percentages.
Yeah.
And actually, I coached middle school football at Zionsville, and the high school coach, Coach Echeverria, over there at Zionsville, also operates under the same Chip Kelly sort of philosophy, where the more times you make the defense have to make a stop, the higher percentage you have to get it in. And so Zionsville, on a majority of their extra points, go for two. And so it's not uncommon here in the IHSA to see teams go for two.
Yeah, and I think it's fascinating. I've seen other teams do it a lot regularly. Decatur Central, a whole lot of that thought, but a deep kick now. It's fielded at about the 16, brought up to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So, yeah, definitely he got about 12 yards or so after contact there. It was a nice return, so setting up good field position for the Orioles as they try to add on to their lead. They're clinging to a one-point lead right now. 45 seconds to go here in the first quarter at Avon. Second game of the season.
Well, and like you mentioned, the kicking game and the nuances of the high school kicking game. And not to be forgotten in that kicking game is the kickoff game. And one of the things you'll see more often is pooch kicks and squib kicks in high school to prevent those big runbacks that we just saw there.
Yeah, that's right.
Browder goes in motion, fakes the handoff to him, and gives it to Steven. Steven cuts, can't get away from the tackler, though, and he's dropped in the backfield.
So 34 seconds now. That could be the last play. Finally the last play of the first quarter here.
It's a little bright here outside for us to be able to see the light bulbs on the play clock, so we can't quite tell, but it's my assumption that the play clock is above 17 seconds right now, and we'll see what happens here as trips to the top of the field, one receiver alone on the near side, Steven in the backfield with Miller. Miller calls the cadence, takes the snap, looking to pass. Throws the hitch route, and it's going to be pass interference called. There is no illegal contact officially in high school. They just call it pass interference automatically after you touch them after 5 yards.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the call there. And that won't take us to the end of the first quarter either.
Yeah, 1 second left.
Come on, clock operator. Let's let it go next time. It is literally myself, Lex Zorn, and the Avon scoreboard / clock operator up here in the booth. And we're all, I mean, it's beautiful. It's breezy. It's pretty comfortable in here for a Saturday morning, right?
It tends to either get very hot or very cold in these press boxes.
And not every day that you see them run the clock after a defensive penalty, but it's JV football, so they're going to let it happen. And we'll flip across the 50-yard line. We're going to take a quick break, go to a message or two, and be back here in a moment on audiosportsonline.com. Reynolds Body Shop has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, providing collision repair. They're located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. They're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com or calling them at 317-243-2372. And McNamara Florist has been in business since 1954 with 8 locations, including the store in Avon on Rockville Road, and they offer floral designs for various occasions. They're located at 9655 East Rockville Road in Avon and can be reached at 317-579-7900. Just about ready to go back to action here with second quarter play. Orioles will have the ball 1st and 10 from the Giant 44-yard line. Twins to the near side. One receiver alone at the top of the field. Mason Miller flanked by Steven in the backfield with the H-back also in the backfield there. And the handoff goes up the middle to Steven. He's got some room. He breaks away.
Oh, he's got
it at the 30, the 25, 20, 15. And he's roped up at the 10-yard line, just over the 10 at the 9. A beautiful run there by Steven. Going to give him 35 yards on the carry.
Incredible speed there by Steven. And I'll tell you, Against about 98% of the teams in the state, he would have been gone. It just so happened he was against Ben Davis, who has some great athletes of their own.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as we saw in the varsity game last night, Ben Davis with a multitude of weapons on both offense and defense. Here come the Orioles. Twins to the right this time. H-back flanks to the left. Steven to the right of Miller in the backfield, and a penalty flag is going to be for encroachment on the defense. So on Friday nights, you'll see at least a 5-man officiating crew. Saturday mornings, you're going to see about 2 or 3. We got one official to each side. We've got an umpire and a head referee. So we got 4 this morning. So plenty of field coverage, and both sides of the field where there was a flag thrown on the play for offsides. The Orioles will have it first and goal from the 5-yard line. Tied into the far side with Twins at the top of the field. Browder in motion. Handoff is not going to go to Stevens. Miller's going to take it himself. He's going to try to get around the edge. It's going to be close.
That was a heck of an effort there. I mean, he really went as far to the right as he could.
He did, and he had to get around several Ben Davis defenders, and he's going to be just shy of the goal line. I mean, he's got about less than a football to go on second and goal.
Well, last time they punched it in. Let's see if they do it again this time. Steven over at the sideline now. So apparently he's, at least on this play, not going to get a chance to run it in. I think he's earned a rest, though, after his hard work today. Steven looks like he might be slightly limping there.
And he is talking to what looks like possibly the trainer. She's got a fanny pack and shorts on, so that might be the trainer there that he's talking to.
I think they got on we got a flag here. The quarterback took it in on the quarterback sneak, but will it count?
No,
it will not. It's coming back.
Yeah, that's an illegal procedure there on the Orioles. And Avon will have to bring it back to where they started the last play. Second down and 5 here. Steven remains on the sideline. The running back in the game for the Orioles is number 29, and that is the sophomore Eric Reynolds at 5'5" and 125 pounds.
Yeah, Steven's still there on the sideline. Hopefully it is nothing serious, but we shall see. Certainly he's a player they want to keep healthy.
Absolutely, and you mentioned, Leck, that Steven is a solid running back, and here's the handoff that goes up the middle. And that running back is just taken down hard by the linebacker.
And I'll tell you, if Ben Davis holds Avon to a field goal here, that will be a big victory for the Giants' defense.
Absolutely, it will, because the Orioles had the ball inside the 1.
Another question, though, on my mind, if Avon gets the touchdown, will they go for the 2 to try to take that 2-possession lead?
You would expect them to after going for it on the first possession.
Yeah, because even then, if they don't make it, I mean, it would still be 14-7. So,
and it looks like it's going to be offsetting personal fouls. Well, let's try to. It's tough to decipher here at Avon. When we were at Ben Davis last night, the official had a microphone on him. Here at Avon, there is no microphone. The officials it looked like they called it offsetting personal foul penalties, which would replay the down from the spot. But maybe there was a live ball personal foul called on one team and a dead ball personal foul called on the other. Nonetheless, the Orioles will split trips out to the top of the field. The running back flanks Miller in the backfield and one receiver to the bottom of the field on the near side. Miller is going to take the snap and drop back to pass. He's flush from the pocket, looking to get rid of it, and he just throws it away. And that one may be moved back again.
Boy, I'll tell you, it's turning into a flag fest on this drive.
It really is. And I guess somebody told the officials that Audio Sports Online was covering this game because they're trying to get their recognition right now.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys are the enforcers.
As we mentioned, this game, you are listening to us via podcast right now on audiosportsonline.com. Marcus Fredwell alongside Lex Zorn. Want to thank our sponsors, all four of them right now, Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, Red Cobra Wrestling, and the Avon Dental Center. The Giants will push the Orioles back, and a rarity here, Leck, is the Orioles are going to have it 3rd and goal from the 28.
Yeah, the ball's been backed up 27 yards of penalties now.
And the Orioles will split out twins to the near side with the tight end. One receiver alone at the top of the field. The running back flanks Miller in the backfield. Miller takes the snap, drops back to pass. Looking over the middle to the post route, and just over the outstretched arms of his receiver on the play. It was Cohen Morrell who he was looking for, and Cohen's brother, Camden Morrell, is the leading tackler for the Orioles' defensive linebacking core, and his brother, Cohen couldn't quite come up with the catch on that play, and that'll bring up 4th and a long ways from the 27. The only way to get a first down here is to get the ball in the end zone. Miller will take the snap, drop back, looking, throws a fade route to his tight end, has him. Oh, and he can't quite hang on.
And, he initially looked to the left and then turned over to the right, and by that time, he just didn't have much time to react, so there's a little bit of confusion there.
That 6'3" junior Sean Lewis couldn't quite come up with the catch on the play.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you, though, one thing I often say in football, never leave points on the field, and the Orioles left 7 or 8 on the field on that possession. When you have it 1st and goal on the one, and you end up with no points, that's a big letdown. And Ben Davis has got to feel good now.
Well, and particularly like against a team like Ben Davis.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave points on the field.
Yeah.
Handoff goes up the middle to the running back this time.
So, they were looking at possibly taking a 2-possession lead with a touchdown in the 2, at the very least having a touchdown lead. And now with any score, Ben Davis will take the lead, even just a field goal.
So the quarterback in the backfield has 3 receivers to the near side, and he hands it off up the middle again. His running back's got some room this time. He breaks a tackle and gets forward for a gain of about 10, and he's got a first down. The Orioles will run a defensive lineman on the field, and the whistle is going to blow the play dead for some sort of a reason. Oh, to get the down markers set, and here we go. The Giants will come quickly. Trips to the near side, one receiver to the top of the field. Running back flanks the quarterback to his right side, dropping back to pass. Looking, flush from the pocket, looks to throw on the run. A nice throw on the run there, directly to the 50-yard line, where his receiver will be brought down.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
Trent Gibson, the quarterback here, will have trips to the top of the field this time. One receiver by himself at the bottom. Elijahwan Hassel in the backfield. And here's the snap. Gibson rolling, looking, has a man wide open in the top of the field, and he's going to get away. He runs through a tackle, and he's going to have another first down for the Giants. And those points that the Orioles left on the field starting to look a little tighter as the Giants move the ball along pretty easily so far.
Yeah, and outstanding blocking there by the Ben Davis slide. I mean, that quarterback just had all the time he wanted.
Absolutely. And double twins this time. 2 receivers near side, 2 to the far. Hassel in the backfield with Gibson. Flanking him to his left. Gibson takes the snap, hands off up the middle to Hassel. Hassel goes to the left, cuts. He's got some room. He breaks away. He has close to the first down, and they'll stop the clock and give it to him at the 25-yard line.
And, to beat a team like Ben Davis in any sport, you usually have to bring your A game, sometimes even your A-plus game. And, when you have a first and goal at the one, you simply cannot leave the field without any points.
Well, and you said it, Leck, because Avon really, they honestly played well last night. There were a couple of tip ball interceptions and tight plays that the Orioles lost it on. But, honestly, and here goes the handoff to Hassel again. He breaks away from a tackle in the backfield. He breaks away from another tackle. And, the Orioles, Hassel there turns a 3 to 4 yard loss into about a 4-yard gain. An impressive job there by Hassel of breaking away from some tackles. You may be able to see shades of the Avon girls soccer team, perennial powerhouse in the IHSAA and the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. They are just beyond the visiting sideline, taking on Fishers High School right now. And there are trips to the top of the field. Gibson flanked in the backfield by his running back to the right. One receiver to the bottom of the field by himself. Gibson drops back, looking. Flushed from the pocket, looking to get rid of it. Looking, has a man just over his hands, and it's incomplete.
That was a dangerous tip there. Fortunately for Ben Davis, there wasn't an Avon guy close enough to grab it. But, tip balls are just so dangerous.
And, like we mentioned, that at a school like Ben Davis, it's tough to break onto the field until – really, you're a junior or senior, and a junior offensive lineman, 71. You can see him at the bottom of the screen. Teron, where does name go? Teron Thomas is a big fella, and Gibson looking outside, spins away from a tackle. He's just short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and 2. But as I was saying, Teron Thomas, a very large young man. And as a junior, because of the big success of the Giant offensive line currently, he is unable to break on the field. And here's the handoff, a fumble, and oh my goodness.
He got it,
but
it looks like it was shy of the first down, so big break for the Orioles here that they retain the lead.
Yeah, absolutely, and a nice defensive stop there as the Giants were really moving the ball right along the field. And then the Orioles were able to come up with a 4th down stop with just over 3 minutes to go here in the first half.
Yes, so, each team now, whoever loses this game is going to be kicking itself because each team now on its last possession got into the red zone and came away with no points. So now let's see if Avon can pad their lead. 3:27 to go here in the second quarter. They got two receivers to the left, one to the right, one running back. And now we got a handoff there. And he fumbles.
Oh, no, and I think the Giants are going to have it.
I couldn't tell who got it. Let's see. Yes, Ben Davis got it.
They do.
So Jarrett Stephen back into the game, but he fumbles. Oh, no. Now, I'll tell you, it'll really be a triumph if Avon, doesn't give up any points here. Ben Davis takes over at the Avon 18, 3:20 to go here in the first half. And now we got a timeout here. Not sure what the situation is.
Looks like an equipment timeout. I think I saw somebody throwing the lineman his mouthpiece there.
Okay. Back to action here. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 running back. Quarterback in shotgun. Takes a snap. Throws down to the right side, and it's overthrown, and we got a flag. Could be pass interference.
Yeah, I believe it will. The defensive back on the play had a handful of jersey, and, honestly, we saw it happen once last night as well. An Avon defensive back got beat and grabbed the jersey. Honestly, in that situation, you're better off with a pass interference call than a touchdown.
Yeah, oh yeah. Have you ever seen the movie All the Right Moves?
I've not.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's my all-time favorite high school football movie. And I always, when I think about pass interference, I always think about that movie because the coach repeatedly and emphatically tells the Tom Cruise character, play the ball, not the man, which ends up being a big plot element in the movie. But now they got it down to about the 5 here. But yeah, it's a movie. If you can withstand the fairly heavy R-rated elements, it's a great portrayal of big-time high school football. So it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's really lost in the shadow of a lot of Tom Cruise's mega smashes.
Double twins. Handoff goes up the middle, and the running back's going to be stopped just across the 5-yard line. Give it to him at the 3.5.
It was filmed in, I believe, Western Pennsylvania, and whoever made the movie clearly was a big high school football fan. But anyway, 2:06 to go, third down and two at the, I guess third and goal at the 2. And he's into the end zone for the touchdown, and Ben Davis takes its first lead, 1:55 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, an easy walk into the end zone there for the Giant running back on the play, and that was number 12. Not Jermaine Hoskins, but Elijah Juan Hassel takes the handoff up the middle and has it into the end zone. And Kyle Fox, number 83, will come on to kick this extra point. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is through. We saw a strong leg from Fox last night as well, as that man has a very true foot, and that gives the Giants the lead by a score of 14-8. We'll go to a quick message and be back here in a moment on audiosportsonline.com. Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions from Chad Red. They're located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. They offer sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com. Dr. Timothy Greer, DDS, and Dr. Christopher LaFave of Avon Dental Center have been practicing in Hendricks County, for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area, just east of Ivy Tech, they're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours are available. More information is available by calling them at 317-272-8100 or reach them at avondentalcenter.com. Fox looking to get a foot into this one from the far side hash mark. Stephen back deep to receive this one with Miller. Kick goes deep. It's going to be taken at the 10, at the 15 by number 6 for the Orioles. And he gets ahead across the 30 down to the 35, and that was Tyler Anderson on the return. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Orioles at the 36-yard line with just under 2 minutes to go. And I believe the Orioles, have one of their timeouts remaining.
Yeah, boy, it'd be a lot better for them now if they had all 3. But nevertheless, they still have a good chunk of time. They need 64 yards. But, when they had it 1st and goal at the 1 and failed to get any points, I had a feeling it was going to come back to haunt them. But, still a little bit over half a football to play, so still got time.
And here's the handoff up the middle to Steven. He gets forward across the 40 to the 41. And if the Orioles want to score, they'll have to go quickly.
But, the thing is, if this were against some ordinary opponent, I wouldn't think it was as big a deal. But the thing is, this is Ben Davis. So,
right, absolutely.
A lot of teams you can leave 7 points on the field and still get a win. Ben Davis usually not.
And the Giants the Orioles will split 3 receivers to the top of the field, 1 to the bottom. Steven flanks Miller in the backfield. Miller dropping back to pass, looking deep for his tight end, and it's over his hands and almost intercepted by the free safety that time. But no luck, and the Orioles will have 3rd down now with just under a minute at 59 seconds to play.
Now, this is a crucial 3rd down because they do not want Ben Davis to get the ball with any significant time left to do anything.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there, Leck, as the Orioles are really going to need a first down here in the worst way, because you don't want to have to punt it away to a potentially dynamic returner either.
So got
and
three
the nickel formation here. And here's the drop back for Miller. Miller looking deep again, throws a beautiful deep ball, has a man, it's caught.
Out of bounds.
But he was out of bounds.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, Leck, for Tyler Anderson to be able to even get his hands on that was impressive.
No, they just about have to punt here. Yeah, it was. He did a great job getting the catch. Just too bad it was about a foot or two, 1 or 2 feet too far to the left. Yeah, because of where they are at the field, you almost have to punt here, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Mason Miller, the quarterback, will go back to punt. So the Giants will have one man deep, and they will be in a safe punt return formation. And the kick is deep to that return man. He'll pick it up at the 25 and look to make some moves. He breaks away from one tackle at the 30, gets away from another at the 35, gets forward to about the 42, where he's dropped with 40 seconds to go in the first half, and Avon trailing by a score of 14-8.
Well, that's a very tenacious attempt there to, get some positive yards there. So now 40 seconds left. Ben Davis takes over at about their own 42. They do have all 3 timeouts left. So,
yeah, give credit to number 6, Garrison Poteet, on the return there.
And Ben Davis, they take a timeout here. So that would imply that they do plan to try to do something offensively here rather than just kneel out the clock, which they could do.
And I would be remiss if I left the broadcast without mentioning our good friend and colleague Rob Kendall. Always doing a great job for us, flipping the switches on Friday nights. Jason Dozier as well, always back in the production booth on Fridays, getting it done for us. And I know you appreciate having somebody back at home in the booth, flipping the switches, as I said, and really making sure that our broadcast goes smoothly.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm really thankful, to both of those guys. And thankful that Rob hired me, after, I saw one of his ads on Craigslist around the summer of 2011. And, I'd always loved sports, and I thought I was capable of being a sports commentator, but I had no experience, so I kept on pestering him, and finally he gave me a chance week 2 of the 2012 season, which was 5 years ago to the day on Thursday, and been there ever since.
Very nice. And we're glad to have you with us this Saturday here on AudioSportsOnline.com. Gibson has trips to the top of the field. One receiver split near side. He's going to roll to the left. Out of the pocket looking. Oh, and he's drilled by the Avon lineman. What a beautiful play there by number 95 for the Orioles. And that was Jaden Williams, the junior defensive end, coming in and laying the lick.
Yeah, that brought a lot of life out of this crowd, and they took their time. They let about 10 seconds run off the clock before they called the timeout, so not good. Assuming that Ben Davis still wants to do something on offense here in this half, that was not good clock management. Well, now it's down to 9, so I'm not sure what's going on. And it looks like they are going to let it run out.
Yeah, and they'll let it run out, and we'll go to halftime with the score. Ben Davis 14, Avon 8. Back here in a few moments on AudioSportsOnline.com. All righty, Marcus Fredwell and Lex Zorn back with you here on AudioSportsOnline.com for the second half. The kickoff will be booted away by Mason Miller. The Oriole kickoff team looks to get this one away. Now the varsity led off the second half with an onside kick, but the JV will kick it deep, and it's going to be taken at the 20 and brought down hard at the 29 by number 37 for Avon, and that is Jalen Hines. It was Cameron Kelly, most likely, on the return, it looks like. No, that's number 8. So give credit to Jalen Dobson for the return on that one. And Leck, if you had to pick out something that the Orioles did best in the first half, what would that be?
Well, that's a good question, Marcus, and I'll tell you, I think really, I think their defense, all things considered, considering the position they were put in, did about as well as you could reasonably expect.
And Gibson hands it off in the pistol formation up the middle. His running back's just going to keep his legs moving, keep him moving.
That was a heck of a second effort there.
It really was, and he was still moving forward when they blew the whistle. So credit him with a gain of about 5. It's going to be second and, give him 4. Get second and 6. Back in the pistol formation with a fullback flanking him to the left is Gibson. 2 receivers to the top of the field. Gibson hands off up the middle again on the same play. And that running back is stopped after he gains about a yard. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 here from the 35.5-yard line of the Giants.
The truth be told, I mean, Avon did a great job holding Ben Davis to 14 points. You know, a heck of a lot of teams in the state would, be down about 35 points by now, but Avon's really hung in there because they've made a lot of good stops on defense, especially stopping Ben Davis when they were in the red zone, and unfortunately, because remember when Avon stopped Ben Davis in the red zone, they retained the lead, but then Steven fumbled the first play on the ensuing possession. So
an unfortunate turn of events there for the Orioles, as they had a chance really to take it into halftime with a lead at 8-7.
Yeah.
But gave up that fumble in the red zone and gave it back to the Giants, who have it now with Twins on the near side. 1 receiver alone at the top of the field. 2 running backs in the backfield flank Gibson. Gibson will hand it off up the middle once again, this time to his running back number 33, and that is Andre Brown, who takes it forward that was number 12 on the play, Olajuwon Hassel, and Hassel takes it forward. Gibson gets the signal from the sideline, and he'll take it again. I think you can pretty much guess which side Ben Davis is running to by which side they line up number 71 on. And here's the snap, handoff again, right behind that number 71 goes, that time it was Brown. Again, number 71 is Teron Thomas, a junior lineman, and that's a big boy, and they run behind him a lot as he switches to the strong side of the formation each time.
And that was a heck of a spin move by Hassel, too, to try to avoid that tackle. He ended up getting him about 3 extra yards.
And so on 3rd and short, we'll see the Giants huddle for the first time today.
This is very important for the Orioles defense because if Avon goes down by 2 possessions, they're in very big trouble. So they really need to get a stop here.
Twins to the top of the field, 1 receiver near side. Strong left is the formation for the Giants in the pistol. Handoff goes to the deep back again, and he's going to get away. He's got a 1st down and more. He's at the 35, down at the 30, 25, inside the 20, and he's finally brought down right at the 21-yard line. A beautiful run there by the young man. That's number 12, Olajuwon Hassel, the sophomore on the carry. And I tell you what, Leck, a bright future for the Giants. They have several sophomores in here getting jobs done today on the offense for the JV team.
Yeah. They certainly, no reason to think that the Giants aren't going to continue to be a dominant power for many years to come. And last time
when you have 13,000 kids to choose from. Strong right formation this time. Hassel behind Gibson in the pistol. Gibson fakes the handoff to Hassel. Looking upfield. Almost brought down, but not. And he gets forward. He's going to gain barely a yard after all that. And it's going to be second and about 9.
It occurred to me that this Oriole here on the field that they have looks a lot meaner than that Oriole on the Baltimore Orioles caps.
It does, yeah. The Baltimore Oriole looks like just a fun-loving type of guy. A guy you want to go out, to the watering hole with, and grab an adult beverage, a sweetened iced tea, if you will.
Yes.
But yeah, that Oriole on the field looks like a guy you want to stay away from dark alleys with.
Yes, that's right.
So Gibson going to be with the pistol again. He's got Brown in the backfield this time, and a false start going to be called on the Giants.
Well, the Orioles, defense can use any break you can get right now.
Yeah, and that'll give them one, as it's going to be 2nd and 14 now, and a passing situation for most teams. But with the amount of athletes on the Giants, you never know when they're going to run it. Although they will bring an extra receiver onto the field and split out double twins this time. Twins to each side. And it's going to be Hassel in the backfield with Gibson. A lot of talk going down there on the field. A lot of communication from the defense. And another false start by the Giants. That's back-to-back plays where the Giant linemen are looking to get a little bit of a head start, but take it just a bit too early.
Good break for Avon.
Yeah, it's going to be 2nd and long. Now, they had the Giants in 2nd and long and 3rd and long several times last night, only to give up a big play in which the defense would have the quarterback in the backfield at times, and then it would transition into a big gain for the Giants. So
yes.
Look for the Orioles to keep contained here as trips go to the top of the field, one to the near side. Hassel in the backfield with Gibson. Gibson, hard count, snap, looking again, looking for his bubble route. He's got his man.
No.
A beautiful ball and another big play for the Giants, and that's going to be a Giant touchdown.
Well, there's that 2-position lead I talked about, and Avon is in trouble now. They're going to have to get something going on offense very soon. 6:45 to go here in the third quarter as they fall down 20-8 with the conversion pending.
Yeah, absolutely, Leck. And I'll tell you what, that Trent Gibson throws a beautiful ball. He throws it on the run, and a nice job there by the sophomore quarterback as he throws a beautiful ball for the touchdown. And Kyle Fox on to kick the extra point. Kick is back. The hold is down. It is up, and it is good. And that will give the Giants a 13-point lead here at 21-8.
Well, so hopefully, Avon they just need to get something going on offense. They need a breakthrough by Steven or something,
Yeah, absolutely.
But, speaking of nice versus mean mascots, it reminds me, I'm a fan of the University of Indianapolis. And when my daughter Aria, who's 13 now, was an infant, she and her mom and her older brother and I were at a U of I game, and their mascot, Johnny Greyhound, came up to her, and he had these really vicious fangs. Like, he looked like the kind of dog you don't want to run into in a dark alley. And my daughter just started screaming hysterically in fear. And, I just, her mom and I tried to calm her down, and we just figured, it was just one of those little kid things. We didn't complain to the school or anything. But then the next year, the mascot didn't have any fangs at all, and that made all the difference. And he looked like this really nice, friendly cartoon dog. So I wonder if other parents complained, "Hey, your mascot's scaring my kid."
Yeah, it sounds like Aria was not the only one that was terrified by the fanged dog.
Yep, Johnny Greyhound is his name.
Here's Anderson taking it at the 19, looking to get to the near side. Can't quite do it with that athletic kickoff team for the Giants, and he's going to be taken down at the 28. 6:39 to go here, third quarter. Orioles trail by 13, 21-8.
You know, I once went to a U of I game. It's one of those things I'm proud to say I was there. I was one of the few people who was. I went to a U of I game back in 2003 in which 29 school conference or national Division II records were set. And Matt Cohn, the U of I quarterback who went on to play in the Arena Football League, passed for 645 yards, setting the all-time Division II record.
Wow.
And the game was mentioned in Sports Illustrated, so it was pretty cool that I was one of the few people who actually saw it.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So two receivers to the top of the field, the tight end on the near side, and the receiver split out all the way to the near side. Handoff goes up the middle to Steven, and he is ripped down once again by that linebacker, and that is number 5, Seth. No, that can't be Seth Johns or Brent Harris because they're both seniors, so that's just some guy that wears number 5. Let's see who that could possibly. I'm not going to be able to tell you that one. We'll call it Jaden Perkins. Jaden Perkins is somebody we haven't seen on the field and plays linebacker. Here's a pass near side to the receiver, and he's brought down, and it's going to get. He has enough for a first down.
I think I saw a late. I saw a late
flag. It's going to be unnecessary roughness. Too much contact out of bounds after the play was over, and the Orioles will get 15 free ones added on to the end of that. And after the first down catch, the Orioles will have it first down near the 50 this time.
You know, I'm actually friends on Facebook with two guys from that U of I team, Matt Cohn, the quarterback, and Cesare Manning, a wide receiver, went to Bishop Chatard. And I had to email them, ask them if they know if there's any video of that game that exists, because if it is, I'd love it to be posted, online to see.
Well, and Lex, several former Avon grads were football players for UND. Stephen Geller, notably, was one of the all-time Avon greats. And the Giants are going to bring some pressure, and the handoff goes right into the teeth of that pressure as Stephen is dropped in the backfield for a loss. And there's an Avon offensive lineman down, and that doesn't look good as he's holding his leg.
Yeah, that's Noah Sigler. He's a 6'3", 285-pound sophomore. He's being attended to by personnel now. Hopefully it is nothing serious. He is moving his arms and legs, but it looks like it's possibly his left ankle.
And while we have a chance, we're going to try to get a quick word in here from our sponsors. Reynolds Body Shop has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, providing collision repair. They're located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com or call them at 317-243-2372.
Well, back here at Avon, the injured player Noah Sigler he stood up and walked off of the field without assistance. He is limping very noticeably. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but we'll see.
It looks to be, like you said, a leg injury. He still has his helmet, so that's an indication that it's not a head injury. Usually when you see a head injury, they'll take the helmet away from the player until he's been cleared to go back in the game. But I believe he's taking his shoe off right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be a leg injury. Left leg, that is. Miller drops back to pass, has a man, but he was it looks like the receiver on the play was a little bit concerned about the contact coming from the Ben Davis linebacker. And listen, who would blame him with the size of those kids out there, man?
Yeah, well, the intended receiver was Riley Browder, who's only 5'9", 145, so definitely.
Well, and Lex Zorn, I am 6'1" and weigh over 300 pounds, and I would have alligator armed that ball. I mean, I'm not going over with that middle linebacker. I mean, he's got to be standing at least 5'11" and probably 250 or more. And, I mean, he is a well-built young man.
So 3rd and 10 now, very big 3rd down for the Orioles.
Miller steps up in the pocket, but he's ripped down in the backfield.
And this game now starting to slip away from Avon. 5:19 to go now in the third quarter.
And the Oriole offensive line is jawing a little bit with some players from the Giant defense, as that's not something that you want to see at any point in a game, but especially when you're trailing by 13. And as you said, Leck, it's dead on. It's an ankle injury down there for the Oriole offensive lineman. And here's the punt taken. And a nice job of coverage on the punt by the Orioles as they'll take that man down after a very minimal gain. And it'll be 1st and 10 at the Giant 35-yard line.
So did either of the helicopters drop in last night on you?
We did not have any skylights last night at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of used to it. I think there were several people watching it on the ground. I know that the Mick Network was there broadcasting the game. Kyle Nedenrip was there. So several people from the Star, ourselves, and WBDG were also covering the game. And it looks like Gibson is calling out some signs. He's got double twins and a running back in the backfield to his left. Gibson calls it out, looking for the bubble. No, now he's looking for the slant, and a pass interference is going to be called on that one as the contact was made just before the ball got there.
I've commentated 60 varsity games now, and I've been in quite a few where one of the helicopters showed up. But I'll tell you, the story I tell the most in regard to the helicopters when I covered Carmel at Hamilton Southeastern Week 1 back in 2015, and I arrived an hour before kickoff, and the helicopter was already there. So you know your game is important when the helicopter's there before it even starts.
Yeah, you got it right there. And it looks like there are a couple of flyovers today. You've got the biplanes flying by, it seems like, and then off in the distance, out through the cornfields, you can see the Indianapolis International Airport, the planes coming and going. And speaking of coming and going, here come the Giants out just across the Oriole 50 with double twins and a running back to the near side. A deep ball for the receiver is, it's taken away, and a flag is down, and let's see. It's going to be pass interference, but I'm not sure if it's offensive or defensive. It's going to be on the Orioles, and that'll be another Giant first down for free.
Well, is that a visitor's press box across the...
That is. There is a very small visitor's press box across the way that you may be able to see, may not. And you can barely see the cage on top there with the Andy Moore Athletic Complex sign. And if you believe it, 6A teams have to pack 5 or 6 coaches up there.
Wow.
On top of that, along with big fat broadcasters like myself that have to go up in that press booth. So it's definitely of concern when you're up there by yourself.
Indeed, yes.
Nonetheless, double twins this time for the Giants. Once again, a running back flanks Gibson in the backfield. He drops back to pass. He's looking for the flat route and has it. Caught, breaks a tackle, gets away across the first down marker, and he fumbled. The Orioles look to have it. They say they do,
yes,
they do.
Yes.
Oriole football, a big change of momentum after consecutive pass interference calls. The Orioles secondary comes up with a huge play defensively and gets the fumble and recovers it at the 25, called the 24-yard line, 23-yard line, and that's where they'll have it, 1st and 10, and their second chance of the half to get this one out there. Let's see what they can do with moving the football. Mason Miller will go out there once again.
And boy, did they ever need a break, but I'll tell you, that was they needed that one. Now they just need to, the offense needs to capitalize. They've had a hard time doing that the last few possessions. Take over now at about the 22 or 23.
Double twins. A running back flanks Miller in the backfield to his right. Miller drops back, sets screen set up. He's got his man, and he's got some blockers. He cuts back to the middle of the field, which may have been a mistake, unfortunately, as he had blockers and an outside edge. But nonetheless, he gets forward. He doesn't want to lose any yards, so he gains about 5, call it 6 on the screen. It's 2nd and 4.
That was Eric Reynolds who made the reception. He's a sophomore, little guy at 5'5", 125. So hopefully he'll do a little bit of growing over these next couple of years.
Yeah, a lot of speed there. And Steven back in the backfield this time. The H-back there is the junior tight end, and then there's 2 receivers to the top of the field, 1 to the near side. Handoff goes up the middle to Steven. He gets forward and drilled as he gets through the line of scrimmage.
He's got the first.
He is, he might have the first. He's really close, but we're going to call it 3rd down and just short. Give it 3rd and about the length of a football.
No, he's...
Are
they going to? I think there's some confusion here.
Yeah, there's confusion between the box and the down marker and the far side official and the near side official. Coming up to make the hit on that play was number 27, Isaac Smith. And a nice little hit there for Smith. And the Orioles will come back quickly. Double twins. Browder in motion. Handoff goes up the middle to Steven. He gets toward the line of scrimmage, breaks through, and has 3. Ball's going to be on the 46-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, the only 2 visiting press boxes I've ever been in are at Whiteland and at Martinsville.
And I tell you, Whiteland's isn't very big, and their chairs are kind of outdated. But, man, those are comfortable chairs up there.
I don't remember that. It's been 4 years since I was there, but I don't remember any problems with it. I mean, I remember I was comfortable there.
I was there last year for Avon Whiteland, and Avon dropped a heartbreaker. It was unfortunate, but trips to the top of the field. 1 receiver down here on the near side, and Mason Miller's looking for that receiver going deep, and has a man that can't catch it.
Got a flag,
but
though.
There's some more laundry on the field, and that's going to go against the Giants, and the Orioles will have a 1st down.
So the Orioles, moved the chains twice now in this possession. Still a long way to go, but they are showing some signs of life.
Now, Leck, I know you're a football fan, right?
Yes.
Okay, so did you see Wes Welker? Why do I always do that? Julian Edelman went down last night.
Yeah, I got the notification. I get ESPN notifications on my phone. I believe I was driving home from Cascade when I got that news.
Very unfortunate. Edelman, a really good guy, but trips to the top of the field. 1 receiver down on the near side. Handoff goes up the middle to Steven. Hit again as he crosses the line of scrimmage. And that was a common theme after the first drive last night for Samson James, as he would be hit as he crossed the line of scrimmage several times. But really a solid performance from James last night. And the Oriole running game definitely showing some promise after seeing a couple years where quarterbacks led the show for the Orioles. A guy like Samson James in there at running back with Jabin Carter back there as well are great guys to have in there. Carter is a senior, but James is just a junior, so they'll have a couple good running backs for the next couple years with James and Steven. And here goes the handoff to Steven again, and he is wrapped up by that linebacker, number 5, again on the play. I mean, that linebacker right there, Leck, has some legs on him, doesn't he?
Which one?
Number 5 out there. Now, in the program, it says that both number 5s on the Ben Davis roster are seniors.
Yeah.
So I have a strong doubt that guy is actually listed in the program as number 5.
Yeah. It could be that they just changed his number 2. That happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And whoever he is, that kid is a massive young man.
Certainly an annoyance to us commentators.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the trip to the top of the field. Mason Miller drops back looking to pass. Now he's flush from the pocket. Looking, has a man. And what a pass. What a pass there by Mason Miller. There were defensive backs all around, but Mason Miller found his receiver at the top of the field. That was number 81.
Peyton Garrett, the
5'11 sophomore on the catch. And that'll end the third quarter. Take us to the 4th here. And we'll get a quick message, and then we'll see what Lex Zorn has to say about that last play. McNamara Florist has been in business since 1954 with 8 locations, including the Avon store on Rockville Road, and offer floral designs for various occasions. Located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and can be reached at 579-7900. Okay, Lex, Zorn, tell us what you saw in that last play.
Well, he just did a great job making the catch under double or triple coverage, and it was just very well thrown there by Mason. And yeah, it was a great catch, and at a time when they really need the offense to come alive. And 10 minutes to play now. And hopefully they will get this score quickly, and the defense will hold up its end of the bargain, and we'll have a down-to-the-wire thriller, with the Orioles with a chance to win here.
Yeah, and well said, Leck, as the Orioles are in what we call the green zone now, in between the 40 and the 20, with a chance on first down from the 31-yard line. Steven flanks Miller in the backfield, double twins, Browder in motion. Browder passes the quarterback. Miller has to step up, and he loses his edge. And he'll be taken down in the backfield after a sack. Got to be really careful here if you're the Orioles to make sure that you keep your head about you, as you've seen a couple times. Those of you watching us at home have seen a little bit of contact after the play by going on between some linemen. And usually that's where you get it from. You either get it from lineman to lineman, or you get it from defensive back to wide receiver. Those are usually the guys that do the most talking. Usually running backs, linebackers, and quarterbacks let their play do the talking for them. But linemen and defensive backs and wide receivers like to talk a lot. And double twins this time with Steven flanking Miller in the backfield. Miller looking, tipped up.
This is dangerous.
Man, that as we waited for the sundial to cross the field there, that ball hung up in the air and luckily hit the ground as Mason Miller's pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage. And it's going to bring up third down and long for the Orioles. 4-down territory, though, no doubt here, right, Leck?
At this point in the game, yeah.
Down by 2 scores against an explosive offense with 9 minutes to go. I think you have to be. Trips go to the top of the field. One receiver alone is Anderson on the near side. Miller in the backfield has Steven flanking him to his left. And here comes the blitz. Miller looking for his man deep on the wheel route, and that's going to be picked off. It's going to be picked off at the 5, which honestly, Leck, is like a good punt.
Yeah.
And that gives the Orioles a chance to stuff the Giants deep in their own zone.
It does, but now things looking very bleak for Avon. They need a big play and fast. Because even if Ben Davis does not get any points on this drive, if they even run off 4 or 5 minutes, then Avon's chances would be very, very slim.
Absolutely, that would dwindle their chances significantly. But the ball will be spotted just outside the 5-yard line, so look for the Orioles to be ripping that ball out on this possession.
Basically, Avon, they've got to do at the very least a 3 and out, if not force a turnover.
Yeah, absolutely, Leck. And really not a bad ball there by quarterback Mason Miller, but what you had there was just a great defensive play by the defensive back. Twins go to the far side of the field, one receiver here at the bottom. Handoff goes up the middle, and that man breaks a tackle, and he's got some room at the 12 down to the 15, and it'll be just shy of a first down.
So I think that was very good for Ben Davis because when you're down that close to the end zone, it feels good if you can just get a few yards and get away from danger of the safety.
Yeah, as we say, get out of the shadow of the goalpost, which on an afternoon game is pretty common. Twins to the top of the field, one receiver near side. Gibson takes a snap, hands off on the same play up the middle to his running back, but he's taken down this time, and it looks like he might be short of the first down. One thing about JV and freshman games, Leck, and I think you'll agree with this, is as a coach, your screaming is much more amplified during a JV or a freshman game.
Absolutely.
Because the lack of fans in the stands screaming their heads off causes for your voice to be amplified a little bit more.
Well, certainly they're hurt a lot more, and for better or for worse. And,
right.
And my favorite, I'll hold this on display.
And it's
They
going to
got
be
the
a
first
first down
down
and
and
more
much
for
more.
Brown. He gets ahead across the 25 down to the 30, and he'll have a first down with just over 7.5 to go here in the ballgame.
The clock stops 7:34 to go. 7:34 to go to move the chains. But yeah, my favorite is Calvin Bimbry, who I believe is still the head JV coach at basketball at Hamilton Southeastern. He's a lot of fun to listen to. He gets very he's into drama. Let's put it that way. So, yeah,
nothing like the B team coach at Zionsville Middle School, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah.
I hear that guy's a crazy person on the sideline. He wears a suit jacket, and once he takes it off, you know something's going on.
Oh, okay.
For those of you who don't know, that's me that we're talking about.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, I decided last year to wear the sport coat over top of my polo, so that when I do get angry, I have some way to show people that I'm upset.
Oh, that's good thinking there, yeah. I remember when back in the I'm 46 now, to put it in perspective, and they're looks like they got is there a fumble again? It looks like there's some kind of struggle here, but
yeah, a lot of movement going down there. I think that's just a running back throwing off 1, 2, 3, 4 spin moves.
Yeah, I'm 46. I started watching basketball in 1978, and that was when IU basketball was still king from border to border, and Bob Knight was basically the honorary governor of the state. And yeah, that was back when he was wearing his plaid jacket, and then of course later he switched to the sweater around the mid-late 80s.
I actually have the Sports Illustrated was it Sports Illustrated, I believe, that had Bob Knight in that plaid jacket on the cover of it.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, in that picture, it gives off the impression that he may or may not have been yelling.
Yeah. Undoubtedly, yeah. I saw a really special event a few months ago up in Carmel. It was a conversation between Bob Knight and Gene Cady, in which they spoke at a theater moderated by Bob Hamill, and they just reflected upon their rivalry. It was a great fun for me, someone who just grew up watching so many of those classic games.
Yeah, that was a very neat thing. I heard about that as well. And here on 2nd and 7, a handoff goes up the middle to Brown, and he's wrapped up by a host of Avon tacklers.
5:38 to go.
Pardon me there. I hope I didn't catch too much of that cough in the microphone there. I tried to cover my mouth up and get the mic away from my mouth there before too long. It's going to be 3rd down, and a big 3rd down for the Orioles.
Yeah, even if they get the ball back here in the next minute or so, the offense is going to have to do something very quickly.
Yeah, those 4 minutes that you spoke of, Leck, have already dwindled off of the clock. And here's Gibson dropping back to pass.
Boy, he's pressured.
He's flushed, looking. He's going to take it himself now. He's going to be close. It looks like he's going to be just shy of the first down.
And the good news is he did run out of bounds, so the clock does stop. 4:56 to go. Avon still needing 2 touchdowns.
He's just shy. It's going to be 4th and about a yard.
Oh, no, one referee just...
wow.
Yeah.
What a bad spot on that play.
Yeah, I think it was I think he ran out about a yard further back. That is a controversial spot.
Oh, man.
If this were like a really important game, there might be, some hysterics on the field right now and from the fans, but
nonetheless, it's 1st and 10 for the Giants.
And that goes a long way toward putting it away for Ben Davis.
Absolutely it does, and he is wrapped up in the backfield. Another nice job by the defensive line of the Orioles. Give credit to number 95 on the tackle, Jaden Williams.
4:40 to go and counting, 4th quarter. Ben Davis leading Avon 21-8. 2nd game of the season. Hard to believe next Friday will be September the 1st. It will be Labor Day weekend.
You know what that means?
What?
No work Monday.
That's right, yeah. So who's Avon's opponent next week?
Avon's at Hamilton Southeastern next Friday at 7 o'clock. Make sure you join us live on audiosportsonline.com. We'll go live just after 6:40.
And we got a flag, play whistle dead. Well, last night was a rough night for the Hendricks County teams, excluding the Plainfield's win over Tri-West, which is the only intra-county game last night.
Right.
The other Hendricks County teams were 1-3. Danville getting the win out at Lucas Oil Stadium over Mooresville.
Big win.
Yeah.
Big win.
Yeah, 59-17, I think.
Yeah,
was
it
the
was
score.
56-0 at one point in that game, wasn't it?
I don't remember that. I checked in occasionally, but I knew Danville was running away with it.
Well, the first indication we got in the press box at Ben Davis last night was 35-0.
Yeah.
And then moments later I heard 56-0, but 59-17, that's a pretty lopsided affair for the Warriors.
Indeed. High snap now. He throws over. It's complete up to about the 45, and he's got to be gang tackled. Of about 6 or 7 guys literally got in on that to stop his progress. 3:35 to go and counting. Boy, I'll tell you, it's not a huge stretch at this point to say that Avon might not get the ball back at the rate where things are going.
Yeah, I mean, one more first down, pretty much, can all but ice it for the Giants. It's going to be third down, call it 6 here, from the 45-yard line of the Orioles. Gibson takes the snap. It's a high snap, but he controls it, looks over the middle, has a man, and he's going to have a first down. And that, like you said, Leck, will all but wrap that game up for the Giants with 3:06 to go here. Really all the Giants have to do is kneel on it 3 times, and that'll take it inside of a minute. Oh, look out for flying soccer balls. So that was close. We had a clearance from the Fisher's defenseman over there on the far side, and that one was saved by looks like that was good old Lance Larkey over there with the save.
Well, if Ben Davis, and then they get about 3 yards on that rush there, 2:48 to go now, even though Avon does have all 3 timeouts left, if Ben Davis just keeps what they're doing, that is no spectacular plays, just getting 3, 4, 5 yards of play, yeah, they very well could run out the rest of the clock.
Well, and Leck, after a quick, easy early drive for the Orioles in the first quarter, after they took the opening first quarter kickoff, and they took that down and ended up scoring on that first drive, knocked in the 2-point conversion. 21 unanswered Ben Davis points have been the story of the game today, as Gibson takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll roll on the bootleg near side, looks to get forward and gets down close to the first down. I believe he's going to have it, and that'll be the game. All they got to do now is kneel on it 3 times, and they'll be able to ice it away.
And who knows, Avon might not even use their timeouts.
Yeah, I think at this point, as it was last night late in the game, health is the number one concern going forward.
Of course, yeah. And God, what was there 8:59 to go when when Ben Davis started this drive?
I believe it was 9:04.
Okay.
9:04 to go when Ben Davis began this drive, and they've already dwindled down over 7 minutes off the clock, and that's really the last play that they have to run. No, Avon will take that timeout, I believe. At least
looks like there's a little bit of an injury here. There's a Avon player. It looked like he was now he's going over to the sideline there.
Yeah,
on his own power.
He wanted to keep going, but the referee told him to hop off the field.
Yeah, well, there's a rule. I think it exists in high school too, that if there's a whistle because of an injury, then you have to leave the field for at least one play.
Yeah, and the same rule applies if you lose your helmet. You got to leave the field for one play. It happened last night in the game, but it was a Ben Davis player, and when a Ben Davis player leaves the field, somebody equally athletic comes on.
Now we got the play whistle dead here. There's some movement on the line.
Going to be a false start here
against Ben Davis. Yes. Well, the JV Orioles being a lot more competitive than the varsity Orioles were last night, but nevertheless, looks like they're going to fall short here at home. It was a good effort. They just, the pivotal moments, the 2 pivotal moments in the game, there as they stopped this rush here at about the line of scrimmage. 2 things really that could have cost Avon the game. When they had it 1st and goal at the 1 and ended up with no points on the drive, and then and then after they stopped Ben Davis in the red zone, and then Steven fumbled the first play of the ensuing drive. You take away those 2 plays, it could be a very different outcome here.
Yeah, I agree with you definitely on that one, Leck, as there's just over 30 seconds to go here. Call it 33 seconds. The Giants just need to snap it and kneel on it.
Yeah, as long as assume, because it looks like Avon is not going to use their timeouts here. 24 seconds now.
Gibson takes the snap. He'll hand it off for the final play of the game, and it's going to be about a 3-yard rush, but that'll do it for us here. Want to take one last time to thank all 4 of our sponsors: Avon Dental Center, the Red Cobra Wrestling Academy, McNamara Florist, and Reynolds Body Shop. We thank them for helping us get on the air this weekend. Leck, your final thoughts on tonight's game?
Well, whenever you're playing Ben Davis in any sport, your margin of error is usually right around 0. Avon, they have some great young talent on this team. They would have needed a perfect game. Like I said, if they had scored when it was 1st and goal at the 1, and if Steven hadn't made that fumble, it could have been neck and neck down to the wire. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, but still, Avon's staying relatively competitive. They lose 21-8, but still showing a lot of promise and a bright future for Orioles football. And definitely remember, there's still 7 games left to play to, get these kids, ready to move up the ladder. And I think some of them are going to be, playing varsity ball this year.
Absolutely, and a lot, like you said, a lot of positive from the Orioles today. I would say, other than not scoring after the first drive, the low negative would be losing the lineman on
Sigler.
Sigler. Losing Sigler would definitely be have an effect for that JV offensive line. But we'll revisit that next week as we come back to you from Avon High School, as the JV Orioles will take on the JV Royals next Saturday here at 10 a.m. At Avon High School. The next time you'll hear from myself is going to be Friday night at 6:40. I'll go live just after 6:40 at Hamilton Southeastern High School. Leck, where are you Friday night?
I'm going to be down all the way in Nashville. No, not that Nashville, but Nashville, Indiana, down in beautiful Brown County, where the Cascade Cadets are going to be visiting the Brown County Eagles. Cascade starting off 0-2. They had a couple of tough losses to marquee opponents Danville and Monrovia, 2015 state champions, but should be get-well time for their first victory of the season next Friday down at Nashville. So hope you all will tune in at audiosportsonline.com and or tune into Marcus's game up in Hamilton Southeastern. So, support Hendricks County football either way.
Whatever you do, when you tune into one, make sure that you podcast the other.
Yeah.
Because it'll be available, as are all of our broadcasts here on audiosportsonline.com, including this one. You always have the option to join us for podcasting on audiosportsonline.com.
Yeah, and then, of course, we got Mark Bless has a show, doesn't he?
Yeah, we got the Mark Bless Coaches Show every Tuesday, I believe. Rob Kendall and Mark Bless get together to have a discussion over the past week and the next week to come.
Yeah, and then Cascade, Steve Spinks, their head coach, has a podcast every Monday on audiosportsonline.com. So it's great to see that we've got, so many of the teams here in Hendricks County covered.
Right, absolutely. All kinds of stuff to listen to and keep you updated on the high school football stats throughout the week. And that's going to just about do it for us. We want to thank our sponsors once again. And for the final time today, I am Marcus Fredwell for Lex Zorn and everybody at audiosportsonline.com saying to you, so long, sports fans.
See ya.